Dolly, it's a pleasure to be here with you.
Nice to meet you too.
And Dolly was also Cheyenne. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
You guys were hit. You were on TV on a show. Congratulations, because now you are known all throughout the US. You have a very difficult condition.
I do.
How do you get by every day?
Like everyone else, I have to take medications, you know. I know a lot of people have hypothyroid. Thyroid issues is the main reason. Me being the size that I am, but also food addiction is a big thing.
Which is your food of choice?
Sweet and salty foods, mostly carbs.
And nowadays, how much do you weigh, more or less?
Well, now I'm at 5'15", but my weight fluctuates.
How did you guys meet? Like, were you friends before you were in the show, or?
For a bit, yes.
For a bit, yes?
Yeah,
for a few months.
We met on Facebook.
Oh,
And
nice.
I just added her, thought she was a pretty person, you know, like not my size, but a bigger girl, so maybe I thought she would understand.
I wouldn't judge.
Yeah.
How long ago was this?
Back in like 2020.
Yeah.
So back then you were bigger than Dolly?
Oh,
no, I was bigger.
Ah, you were bigger. Sorry,
I was a lot bigger than I am now. I was about 430, 440, and
And you're like, what?
I'm 342.
So we have both lost quite a bit of weight.
Like 100
since then.
pounds.
Amazing amount. It's a lot of kilos.
Oh yes.
How do you feel now? Do you feel better than
Oh
before?
yes, I am a lot more energized, and I find myself wanting to do a lot more than I used to be.
She's even had a job for a whole year.
Before I used to, on the show, I was really out of breath and I couldn't stand very long. And I went from not being able to stand for like 30 seconds to I can work 12-hour days now, and I feel so much better, and I just want to keep going. I'm being Dolly's emotional support system.
And that also, her being there to emotionally support me, helps me not want to eat as much as well, because used to I would be depressed and I would just like wake up and be like, oh, I'm hungry. Like the first thing I would think. Now I'm not gonna say I don't think about that every day, but it's a lot less, and I've been eating a lot less, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
A lot less sodas.
I think what helps is she's not alone in going through this journey. She has me to go with it, so it's not like it's all singled on her. And I have been trying to get her more involved in things. So little things, if it's like, hey, let's come into the living room. Let's not be in bed all
I
day.
have some taboo questions for you. Like, for example, I guess it's uncomfortable for you, but how do you describe yourselves? Like when somebody calls you fat or obese, does that hurt you? Do you feel hurt or not?
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
Because the biggest judge is ourselves.
right? Yeah.
So when you have to describe yourselves perhaps to somebody that doesn't know you physically, would you say like I'm a big girl? Like how do you describe yourself?
I'm a lot bigger and I don't look like a lot of people. I can do a lot of things, but I can't keep up as the normal person can. I tend to do that, especially if they invite me somewhere out. And so
Yeah, meeting new people, going out on outings and stuff is difficult for me as well.
Was your body big since you were in high school? Or has it been like this your entire life? Did it change?
I've been obese all my life, like even as a child. Like I'm not trying to put the blame on my family or anything. I mean, grow up with your grandparents and they
Is your family
cook very good cooks.
very good cooks?
Like don't cook a lot of healthy foods. Or
Which was your favorite food growing up?
I don't know, controversial.
Why? Wait, why? For example, when I was growing up, my favorite meal was, I don't know how you call it here, Choco Crispies. Like, do you know, like from the
Count Dracula,
the elephant
Count Chocula.
Count Chocula, yeah, something like
Oh,
that.
cereal?
Yeah. Cereal, yeah,
Oh,
like
okay.
chocolate cereal was
Yeah.
my
Like Cocoa
thing,
Krispies
yeah.
kind of, I don't know. My grandmother would always make like beef stew and like cornbread on the side.
But it's not controversial. There's a lot of people in the US that eat that every day, you know, like.
But you know, it wasn't just that. It was like just all the fattening foods, southern comfort food, and that's what I grew up to know. Like comfort food is a thing, because like really, when you're down and depressed, it is comforting, and sometimes it's way too comforting, and you get addicted to it.
it's no better than drugs or anything. A lot of people turn to that when their life is going down spiraling, and there's people like us, like I said on the show, we turn to food, and that's our comfort blanket. A lot of us are taught, hey, you need to eat what's all on your plate
before dessert or whatever.
Yeah, and then there's always consequences of not finishing your plate, and then there's other situations that makes our mindset already like this, and so.
Yeah, definitely. What about dating in general?
Oh.
How's the scene for you? I know that you've been married, I know that you had a boyfriend. Most of the times there is like a stereotype of what we call a beautiful girl.
Yeah.
And it's a girl that is very thin, or she has certain like features.
Right. In a way, I'm kind of like afraid to date because of that. Because of the body standards. I mean, like...
But where did you meet your last boyfriend, for example? Facebook?
I met my husband that I'm not with right now. I'm not gonna be with him. But anyways, I met him on Facebook too. Messaged me first.
Are you on Tinder right now? Are you on Tinder?
No.
No?
I don't use that.
Badoo?
I don't use that either.
You don't like the apps?
No.
Like the apps to match somebody?
No.
And in your case, Cheyenne?
As I was growing up, I had a lot more insecurities about my body, and I got into a relationship and realized that, you know, like I don't need makeup to make me feel pretty, you know, type things. And after experiencing what I experienced, I realized that I can't truly love someone unless I love myself. So I'm taking time to heal myself, and I'm completely content without a relationship right now. I'm enough right now, so that's how I'm kind of looking at if there's someone that comes my way, it'll happen if it happens.
So you guys are living together now?
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking about the day-to-day things. Today you sent me a message before we came here, like, hey, I just showered, I'm ready to do the interview. Do you shower by yourself? Does somebody help you? Like,
sometimes I shower on my own when no one else has the time to help, because she was having to get ready herself, so she didn't have time. So, you know, I try my best.
How do you?
Some days I hope that I don't have an odor, because I can't really get in places myself the right way, you know. Most of the time, whenever she can help me, she'll help me shower.
Do you have like a special shower? Is it adapted for
you?
No,
just a regular shower.
Like, because sometimes I am afraid to sleep. You know?
We put we put a little washcloth on the bottom of the floor so we can step on it and not slip.
Okay.
She's diabetic, so she can't feel her feet sometimes at the bottom. So it helps.
Sucks.
And then I have neuropathy in my feet as well. So
what do you have, sorry?
Neuropathy.
What is that?
It's like you get really bad tingles and pain in your feet.
What neuropathy is it starts out as tingles and stuff, like you going numb, to eventually you are completely numb. You can't feel nothing. And then also can't regulate pain. So if you get tapped, it's going to feel like you got hit by something hard. Yeah.
Sounds pretty bad.
Yeah. So sometimes, do I look a lot smaller than I did in the show? Before I went on the show, I was 6'16". When I went on the show, I was less than that. I was like close to 600. It was like 597 or something like that. When I got on the scale the first time.
And if you want to get the surgery done?
He kept saying that I needed to lose 50 pounds. But then once I lost that weight, he was like, well, you're not mentally capable of doing it now. And I was like, that's fucked up.
He wanted her to not be with Philip because Philip wasn't good for her.
It was,
your ex-boyfriend.
My ex, yes. But it was my choice. And that's who I was with, you know.
It wasn't just.
Why was the doctor taking an opinion on your personal life? I don't understand. Try to understand.
He wanted her to be more independent. And
Philip was dragging me down because he was homeless before I met him. Therefore, I ended up homeless because I left my mother's care. She was taking care of me and my daughter at the time. And
How old is your daughter?
She's 6 years old. I was a careless mother, and I decided out of my own selfish actions to leave because me and my mother weren't necessarily not necessarily like not getting along, but I didn't want to follow her rules, and so I left. But we're on better terms now and everything. Now that I'm not with fill it. I mean, even before.
But who is your daughter living with right now?
My mother.
With your mother?
My mom has full-on custody, and that's great.
Do you see your daughter from time to time?
I see her as much as I want whenever my mother has time, and they live close to me.
If you could change something in your life, what would you change?
Well, if I could change the past, I wouldn't have left. Maybe I'd be living with mom still, and I wouldn't have burned that bridge. But you know, you can't change the past. You can't be oh poor pitiful me. So if I could change anything right now about myself or about my weight, would be the mass that is my fupa between the legs. And no, people laugh because I said that on television last time.
What, sorry?
Fupa. It's a fatter upper pubic area. I know, I'm not being graphic, I just letting people know.
But for example, for that you would have to get a surgery done.
I would have, well, yeah, and I would have to have like some kind of skin surgery. I don't know what all it entails because it's a big mass of skin, but it's also
which is the result of you losing weight, right?
Right, but I was there before. Like whenever I gained weight, what the doctor described to me as gravity, like whenever you're gaining weight, gravity decided to go down towards the ground. And so weight started forming there. And so it just gradually, throughout the years, I noticed it starting to get bigger and bigger and bigger in 2017, I would say, or 2016, right before I had my daughter in 2018.
Why do you think that there are so many obese people here in the US?
I would say because there's so much like preservatives and stuff in food, and they put so many like addicting like preservatives.
Yeah.
Preservative, not observative.
They also,
I get tongue-tied.
Our economy has fluctuated so bad that the rise in prices of groceries is the same price as a fast food item. So it's either go home and cook and still spend the same amount of money, or just get it right then. Right now, most fattening foods are cheaper than healthier foods. Oh yeah.
So that's where most people go towards. They're like, well, I don't have the money to
I don't have $10 to spend for a salad, but
yeah,
I can spend it for a $2 burger.
And save more money because, you know, like you said, the economy and everything, inflation, it's just easier to go and get KFC or McDonald's.
Which is your favorite chain?
I don't necessarily have a favorite chain. Like, I like McDonald's.
For example, you go to a McDonald's. What do you usually order there?
Like a 10-piece nugget and a medium fry. I mean, used to, I would get like a 20-piece nugget or 40 and like a large fry and a large drink and eat all of that in one sitting. I shouldn't do all that, but when you're depressed and you're with someone as well, when you're in a relationship with someone that's not
mentally stable, or
he wasn't mentally stable either. I'm getting there, but
what was, for example, a regular breakfast for you? What was it like 4 years ago?
That mom used to make.
Your mom, her mom used to cook?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, she still does, but like mom would make like a breakfast quiche, a certain amount on my plate, and she would portion it. But me being hungry all the time, not ever able to like satisfy that hunger, and I don't know why, even when I'm full, I'm still thinking about food, like my next meal. I would go back and I would get more, and after I would get more and everything was put up later that night or whatever, I would go and sneak back into the kitchen and get more. I don't know why I had the thought of sneaking food, because I didn't have to sneak it. There was no reason for me to. My mom would have been okay with me getting a little bit.
Well, actually, you know what an addiction, what addiction means? It means not to say something you don't say somebody else, something you hide for yourself, which is consuming something. Right? It can be a drug. In this case, it can be food. Yeah,
and food is a drug nowadays. I mean, it has been. When you go into the store, what do you see first? Pastries? That's the consumers. They're showing you, like, here, have this candy bar. I mean, like when you go to self-checkout or you go to the cashier, what is there first? Candies. And that's the first thing kids see, because it's at eye level for the kids. And it starts at a young age.
Yep.
Even my daughter, when my mom goes to the store, my daughter is 6 years old. And she's getting a little chunky, like I was whenever I was her age. We're trying to fix that right now. Trying to nip it.
Did you guys ever do workout? Some type of workout?
Oh, we go swimming.
You go swimming?
And we do walks. I mean, we'll walk down the street a bit and walk back. I haven't done that yet, but I'm going to start walking a bit. It's going to start getting cooler here because the fall is coming, and when it's hot I can't do a whole lot of walking. But
what would happen if you took a walk now?
I mean, I would get winded and I would have to come right back and sit down. I would just be out of breath. I wouldn't be able to talk much.
So how much can you walk, for example?
Not very far.
Maybe to the mailbox.
Walking to the mailbox and back the other day was miserable for me.
Is your bed a special bed?
No.
No? And it can hold you with no problems?
Yes, it's fine. I don't have a frame or a headboard. I just have a king size mattress and
box spring on the floor.
Okay.
On the floor, yeah. So it's like that high off the ground, so I can just get on the bed and lay down.
If I took a look right now at your medical bill, your medical expenses that you've had through the years, how much money can I find there? How much money do you owe?
Hundreds, thousands.
More than 20, 30, 40 grand, probably. Maybe 100,000 or more than that. I mean, with my health the way it is, without me telling anyone what my diagnoses are, I have to go to the hospital a lot. Recently I haven't had to as much because I have Cheyenne here helping me and my roommates, my friends that we live with. Ambulances cost a lot and I have to go in those quite frequently.
How much for an ambulance ride? 1,000 US, something like that?
A little more than 1,000, a little bit over that. And sometimes they'll bring me back home, so that's another ride back home, another 1,000 something.
So basically you don't have any credit score right now?
No, see, I'm 28 years old and I haven't built my credit. I have a 0 because I haven't built and I haven't put anything on my credit to make it go lower.
And everything you owe?
It just stays there. After a few years, it falls off of your credit or your name. Or I don't understand how it all works. But
after a certain amount of time, you don't owe any more money.
Right.
Well, sounds good then.
I believe it's like 7 years.
7
but
years.
Yeah, that's a long time to be waiting for it to fall off.
I mean, it's best than paying it, right? No? Like it's a lot of money. And in your case, Cheyenne, do you have a big bill?
Yeah, I have not as big as hers, but I do owe at least 100,000.
100,000 US dollars.
Yes, during filming while we were in the show, right after we filmed it, I ended up in the hospital. I couldn't breathe a lot during the show, and it got to the point where my kidneys was hurting, and I couldn't make it from room to room.
She almost passed away.
And
this close.
And they rushed me down to the hospital. You see, growing up, I guess it also stems from being a bigger girl. I didn't want to be a hypochondriac, and it just looks bad for a lot of us because people think we're just trying to get pity. So I was blaming that, I'm just feeling like this because I'm fat. Well, they did an x-ray and stuff for me, and they said I had several blood clots in my lungs and they were going to my brain, and I had congestive heart failure.
She wouldn't have went in right then.
Yeah.
She might have not made it the next day.
Yeah,
the doctor said. And
they were going to helicopter me down to downtown to open up my rib cage and try to manually remove the blockage, or they were going just to try to thin it out, which that's what they did. I was in the hospital for 2 weeks. I know that bill was about $80,000. Just
if it weren't for me, she wouldn't have gone.
Yeah.
I had to keep on her. I was like, go to the hospital. I don't feel good. I just want to stay in bed with my oxygen. No, you need to go. I'm glad I kept pressuring her.
Yes, definitely.
And I have her now.
And I asked him if it was because I was heavy or, and he said, no, this has just been from a young age. I wasn't big all my life. I didn't start getting really big until the last couple years of high school up to now. So I guess the last 12 years.
How much weight did you gain there? Sorry.
I used to weigh I think like 260 in high school. And then when I was on the show, I was like 440, 430, 440.
Do you girls think that the show was a good thing for you or a bad thing?
And in a way, it was good because it made us want to lose weight more. Also, seeing ourselves on camera made us look at ourselves like,
I really look
wow,
like that.
I really look like that. Like, you don't see yourself the way other people see you. Like, you're like, wow, I really look like that. I hate it. So you want to do something about it.
And also, we've encountered a lot of supporters of us.
I mean, there's a lot of supporters and there's a lot of haters. There's
Yeah.
a lot of people that are like, oh, I've got a lot of death threats, and I don't know why. Like, they're like, oh, you're a waste of air. I'm a waste of air? Really? They're like, you might as well just float away. People have told me, oh, your daughter is getting fat just like you.
Do you pay attention to those comments or not?
She does sometimes. So
I try
this is
not
where
to,
I come in.
and sometimes I will go off on them in the comments, and she's like, there's no use. They're just
They don't know
keyboard.
you.
They're just keyboard warriors. They're just trying to get you down, and that's all it is. They're just giving in their own like 2 cents. They don't care about you. They don't really know who you are in real life. Show it off.
Sometimes they are even kids. You know, it's like
Right, yeah.
old, right? Have no idea about life, about anything. Just run on the internet.
Oh, yeah.
Social media it's a good thing and it's a bad thing too, because like I've noticed a lot recently, like throughout like this year and last year, some people will add me just to follow me and then talk shit. Yeah.
Your comments.
Oh yeah, or to me.
To
Or
spy
just
on.
directly, like
Or
Send me
spy on her.
messages on Messenger, a whole paragraph about how I'm shit.
I guess that you also get a lot of positive comments.
Oh, I do.
And probably there's some
I get
some
more
guys around there
positive.
that are trying to win you over or something.
Oh my god.
I wouldn't doubt that.
Yeah. Most of them are from like foreign.
From
but,
abroad,
Yeah.
perhaps you get a boyfriend from abroad. Why not?
UK, Aussies, like from Australia. I've even had guys from Brazil be like, "Hey."
What was the best pickup line that you received on your DMs?
I was a spicy tamale. And that was a Brazil dude.
Would you like to go to Brazil one day? We could go, no?
Yeah, maybe.
Why not? Did he seem like a nice guy?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Okay. The only thing is, this person was not wanting me to lose weight. There are people in this world that like bigger women and want them to gain weight and gain like, and that's called feederism. I don't know. A lot of people don't know what that is. I'm not into all that. I don't want to. I want to lose weight. I want to like get healthier and be here for my daughter, be here for my mother. You know.
So some people
For my
try
best
to,
friend here.
Sorry, some people try to get in a relationship with you just to give you more food.
There's also a thing called death feederism, where they feed you until like they're in a relationship with you. They feed you until you die, and then they get with someone else and they do it to them too.
I'm sorry, I'm amused by this because it's all new to me. I didn't know any of
Oh
this.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy.
Look it up later.
You got to.
But yeah.
How did you get to know this? Like.
I looked it up after someone told me about it, and I was interested in knowing about more. I don't want to be in that lifestyle, but I was like, this is an interesting topic. I want to look more into it. You know.
And to beware, I guess. You know. Like,
Yeah, beware of people like that.
Because there's people that message like both of us actually like that
What did they say
way.
to you, for example?
Like basically that we look like a snack. Pretty much all the
Yeah,
time.
people fetishize us.
Yeah, or they just
I'm
want to
sorry,
be
what
squished.
I didn't understand that. Sorry. What is a snack?
Like we look delicious, like we're their type. Like
Okay.
that, or they want us to squish them.
Like sit on them, squish them. Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird.
Some guy asked me if I would go in a field and eat food in the dark at midnight
In a
for
field?
$1,000. I was like, no, not even for
He's like, he's thinking about it. He was like, it's
sketchy.
It was like 2,000. I was like, nah, I'm still not doing that shit because, like, sorry for my language. I've said that a few times already. Okay. Anyways, I had to get that out.
Did you get any other weird invitations?
Oh yeah. Some were just downright raunchy.
Or
this guy wanted me to fart in a jar and send it to him.
For how much?
He was willing to pay $100, and I was
I'll fart in the jar. You can send it to him. Let's take advantage of this.
He was like, you're famous and you're fucking hot. I'm gonna ask you. He was like, I feel a little awkward asking this, and I was like, okay, just ask. Shit, like if I feel like it's out of the ordinary, I will let you know. I am very I'm blunt. Right? I will say some off the wall shit sometimes.
And in your case, Cheyenne, tell us some weird story of DMs that you got.
I've had a guy that was interested in VORE, VORE, VORE.
What is that?
Do you know the story of Hansel and Gretel?
The story of Hansel and Gretel.
Okay, you know how the witch ate the kids.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so being a bigger girl, I've had a guy literally tell me he wanted to live inside my stomach. He wanted me to eat him and be inside me.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like we get the most off the wall stuff. Yeah, and
he wanted you to eat him. Like literally eat him.
Yeah,
he would die and you would eat him.
Open our mouths,
and let him be like in our stomach,
that, and him just climb in us.
Yeah, it was
like a meat suit.
So half the time I don't look at any message requests or anything. So
sometimes people will send me like random shit like that, and just for shits and giggles, I'll say something off the wall funny back to them. And then screenshot it. I'll be like, okay, sure.
Do you girls think that you will ever be able to repay the money that you owe for your medical bills?
No.
No?
Not in this economy and the way things are. Unless one day I just happen to win the lottery, but we don't ever play it. We're never gonna win it if we don't play.
I'm afraid to.
I would, in good conscience, if I had won money, I would pay back my student loans and everything too. But
you still owe your student loan?
Mm-hmm.
What did you study?
Forensic science at Sam Houston.
Sounds very interesting for forensic science.
Mm-hmm.
So you're an expert in that field.
I didn't finish
you
school.
left
Yeah, I left college. It turns out I realized what my true passion, what I want to do. Now, it took me a trial and error to realize what I really wanted, because I kind of rushed into college right after high school. I realized my dream, I want to be a digital animator. So I do like animation.
She's really good.
And drawing.
Some of the stuff that she does, like, you have more followers on TikTok than I do because of your animation. Girl.
I have 39,000.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa, that's a lot.
I have almost 10,000. Almost. You would think I'd have more.
Yeah.
Because I was the main person of the show.
Mm-hmm.
No, I was before.
She's jealous. She's jealous of you.
It was before the show. It was before the show, ma'am.
I have a question that if you guys don't want to answer, you can not answer. I mean, because it's a little bit uncomfortable what I will ask.
Yeah.
At the moment of having intimacy with somebody else, do you have a special preparation? Or do you have intimacy as anybody else? Or like...
I always go to the powder room before, you know. I always, like, being a bigger girl, I'm always self-cautious. Like, I keep myself clean, my whole body, but they've always, growing up, they always chalked up big people as they stink or anything like that. And so I'm always self-cautious, not only in that, but knowing that I don't look like a skinny girl. And especially if it's the first time with that particular person, that's the only thing that's on my mind of how they think about us.
Same. I feel the same way. I like to like be let known like how long it's gonna be till they get there, like how many hours I have to get ready. It don't take me that long to get ready, but if I know that I'm gonna like meet somebody for the first time, or maybe it's not even the first time, maybe it's like I'm with somebody in a relationship with him, but like we're gonna be intimate. Like I want to smell nice. I don't want to like stink. Who wants to stink during that? Or stink at all at any time?
Dolly, for what I've seen in the interview, for what we've talked, what I come to understand is that you guys support each other a lot.
We do.
So basically, you are the support of each other.
Yeah, we're best friends.
And
More like sisters.
sisters, so you live together, you do everything together, I guess.
Well, except for
some things, you have everybody has their own thing going on. Yeah. Do you ever like recur to? Is there like a support group for big people here? Do you ever go to that?
I mean, there probably is. I've heard there's like support groups on Facebook and stuff, but I'm still like leery of that because
She's
people talk
known
shit.
already. Yeah, she's already known as someone, you know. And so it's more a lot of being blackmailed, and like once we went on the show, our life ain't private no more.
No, not at all. Not even on my Facebook account. People, like I said, people will add me as if they're my friend. I'll accept it, and then they'll take screenshots of what I've said or pictures I've taken, and they'll take it to a My 600 Pound Life group, discussion group, where they talk shit about people on My 600 Pound Life, and they'll be like, "Look what Dolly's doing now. Look how she's people struggle, okay? People struggle. Sometimes you may not want to ask for help with food, money for food, or hygiene products, or money for gas. But sometimes you have to ask for help. You have a lending hand from someone. Sometimes I'll make a post saying, look, hey, I'm struggling, guys. Can anyone help me? They take screenshot, post it on that group, and say, oh, look, Dolly's begging for money again. What a scammer. I'm not trying to scam people.
We're all struggling in this. It's hard.
We all struggle.
Everything's gone up, but pay's been the same. So it's just hard. And a lot of times a 2-3 paycheck home still can barely. So our only option, unless somehow we strike big or a big paying job, is to roommate with people, because it's hard.
For a while there, I was struggling because I didn't have any kind of income. Recently, I was able to be qualified for Social Security, disability, everything. Finally.
How much money is that?
It's only $638 a month.
So you cannot make.
No, I can't.
Cannot go by with that.
Most places nowadays, they want. So if rent is $500 or $550, your deposit's gonna be that or more.
And that's not electricity.
Yeah, that's not including electricity, water, need Wi-Fi to
What
stream.
are the requirements? You said that you got it not that long ago, this relief check that you're getting. What are the conditions that you need to meet so that you can get the money?
Well, for my condition is I am low income. I have no money. I had no money in the bank. I didn't have any money on me. I didn't have a job. I wasn't making money from anybody. Nobody was giving me money in that sense.
And to certify that you are disabled, how much pounds do you need to be, or is there a limit? Or?
I don't think they went by the pounds. They went more like I'm bipolar, so I have mood swings. I could be happy 1 minute, the next minute I'm crying. I'm in tears,
and then the next minute. For that?
Right now I do not.
Okay, and why is that?
I just haven't had the time to go to a doctor yet, and then also doctor's appointments. If I were to make a doctor's appointment now, it would be probably a month or two out, because everything is so slow here.
And also then if you get the doctor's indication to go get the medication, you have to pay for the medication also.
Well, now I have Medicaid.
Okay.
With Social Security.
So you get it
so
for
once
free?
Once I got Social Security, I automatically qualified for Medicaid.
Okay. And right now, for example, are you taking some medication that you get a discount from Medicaid, or you get it for free from Medicaid? For diabetes or something of that sort?
I've been having vertigo, which is dizziness, for the past month. So I was prescribed some dizzy medicine to help get it to go away. It still has not. I'm
still struggling with that?
Yeah.
Which is a symptom of what, do you know?
Well, it could be a lot of different symptoms. The doctor doesn't really know quite which one. So they said it was dehydration and some other, my weight does factor into that. I get Social Security because of my my bipolar, chronic depression, chronic anxiety. I have normally indoors I wear oxygen at all times, but I don't have a cord long enough to reach outside. So
I have one last question for you guys. I know we've been here quite a while. I don't want to take
Fine.
much more time of your day. Last question is, you guys have lost a lot of weight.
yes.
So what message would you give to anybody that's out there looking at this video that is struggling with the same situation? What would your advice be?
Find someone that supports your wants and needs to lose the weight. Find someone that is a friend, not a foe. You know, someone that like is there for you, beck and call.
I would say what helped me through the process was making small, manageable goals to myself. Instead of looking and stressing over little things like, you know, the energy to go down and do laundry, I would tell myself, okay, make it to the door. Make it to, you know, I just have to do this and this and this. It made it a lot, my confidence to be higher, knowing that, hey, I just achieved that. What else can I do? And just keep doing it. You may be tired now, but the more you do it, the less harder it is to do, the more of it. And just not to give up. Everybody struggles. We're all human, and we always, yeah, you may have a slip up, but tomorrow's a new day.
Right.
Keep up with that insight.
And you have enablers in your life. Try to get them to stop enabling you, or maybe cut them out of your life for a while. You don't have to cut them out of your life like forever, but
Just distance yourself.
distance yourself from people that are enabling you to gain weight, to overeat, to basically hurt yourself. Because that's, I hate to say it, but for a while there I was dying. You know, you slowly are shortening your lifespan, gaining and gaining and gaining and gaining. When I was on the show, the doctor told me if I didn't lose 100 or more pounds and get the surgery, that my life would shorten. He's like, you may not make it to 30, Dolly. It makes you think. It makes you really, really think. I may not make it to 30 and I'm 28. Oh my God, I need to do something about that. Because everybody wants to live. Everybody. You don't want to die. You want to be there for your loved ones.
Since you're getting older, time goes by a lot faster.
Also, you don't need a man. You don't. I've learned that.
You just need that
need
one
your-
person that
Yeah.
makes you happy, and then
Like,
each other's
My
us.
best friend, I would call her my soulmate. That's my best friend. Like, no, you don't. Your soulmate doesn't have to be someone that you're intimate with or that you're in love with like that. Like, she has my heart and my soul. That's my best friend.
Girls, thank you so much. It's been amazing talking with you, trying to understand a little bit more what it is being in your shoes. And I think this is going to be very good for everybody out there to understand more about the problems that you have to overcome each day to go by. So thank you very much. It's been a pleasure. Thank you,
Okay.
Dolly, and thank you,
Nice to meet
Cheyenne.
you.